So, Dodge, Rog, elephant in the room. Let's start off with the easy stuff.
Go on. Sorry.
Mate.
Go.
Okay,
Yeah.
you can't do that already.
I know. Go on.
Crumbs.
Go on.
Your nickname, Dodge.
Yep.
Did you realise, actually, when I was doing my research on you, because you think you know someone, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to research you.
Yeah.
There's very little about you. Obviously, you went to Loughborough University. I don't know what you went there to study. I mean, they're quite big on sports, I believe, up there. But Dodge, your nickname, where's that come from?
My old man's called Roger,
Right.
and he christened me Roger Junior.
Okay.
And when you're growing up, as soon as I was born, I was known as Dodger.
Okay.
So there was no crossover, you know. So it's Roger
Okay.
and Dodger, and since I've been the age of 1 month or whatever it was, I've always been Dodger.
Right.
So Dodger and Dodge, and that's
Okay.
my
Okay.
that's what everyone knows me as.
So you went to Loughborough University primarily to study what? What was your interest at that point?
Sport.
Right.
So I went there and did a PE sports science degree. I went there to earn a pound note and play
Right.
sport, meet people, and have a laugh. But at the same time, there was a degree getting in the way of things.
Okay. But prior to that, then, you didn't have any young aspirations to go down the rugby route professionally? Or
Yeah, massively.
Okay. So
Yeah,
tell me a bit about that then.
Well, football was my thing growing up.
Okay.
We're West Ham fans, all the family.
Yeah.
And then I was lucky enough, my old man and my mum, I grew up in pubs, living above pubs in London.
Okay.
We moved around in different places, and mum and dad dad's a East London lad.
Right.
Boy done good. Mum's a Mancunian. Very, very entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
Very go-getters. There was no education from either of them, but they were good on morals and good on good things in life, and they gave me a lot of self-belief as a kid, and I think it's one of the most magical gifts a parent can give a child is self-belief.
Yeah.
And they didn't realise that at the time. You know what I mean? We're talking the 70s and 80s here.
Yeah.
They didn't realise what these things were. You know, there's no internet. There's no one could find about any of these things. You just had to work it all out back then. They gave me this self-belief, and they gave me a lot of freedom. And when you're growing up and living above pub, we had a nightclub next door. Our pub was a proper vibrant boozer.
Yeah.
2 floors. Dad was the first one to bring bouncers on the door back then.
So you grew up quite quickly.
Oh, very quickly. You become streetwise really quickly. And you know, when you grow up above a pub and you've got doormen and bouncers, or they've all written books now, and they used to, you know, they were like proper characters, and you grew up with this. I grew up with that, and as being the landlord's son, you got protected and looked after in when you were out and about. And you know, I was going to nightclubs at young age, 10, 11, 12, 13. I was earning money at a very young age because I was in an environment where there was a lot of people earning money, cash.
See, that's we're going to come to that, because that's one of my, not gripes, but it's one of my stress points, let's put it that way. But you talked a lot about family there, and one of the things I've got here is, from an outside, you know, obviously I've been stalking you for some time. Yes, we've been out a few drinks, obviously, but that's not really how you get to know someone. And it's clear as day that to you, family is so important. And one of the things I was interested to know is, along your journey, a lot of it you've kind of already said, but along your journey, especially the ups and downs, how much has family factored in your present day success, would you say?
Hugely, because mum and dad I'm very tight with, and my sister, and that's all we've got at the end of the day. And as I've grown older and wiser, I've always been fairly ballsy and a risk taker.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll ever lose that, but there's some crazy risks that I've taken in the past in life, let alone business. But if we're talking business here, a lot of big risks, and risks that I wouldn't ever would want anyone to follow.
Okay.
Some of the risks I've taken, and you know, when you gamble in your own family house on a party in a field, it's, you know,
that's a big one.
Yeah, they're seriously big risks, and I've taken many risks. I've had 5 start-up businesses now as an adult. I've had many businesses as a kid growing up, earning money, and I just really enjoyed earning money as a young kid, from a 10-year-old up to I am now. I'm just doing the same thing, creating win-win situations, making sure everyone's happy, buying and selling stuff that people want, and doing it with a smile, and bringing humour into the whole thing, and not taking business too seriously, because it shouldn't be, but it's kind of drilled into most people that I've met on my journey that if you're a businessman, you've got to be serious. Well, I don't agree with that whatsoever. No. I think there should be a lot of mickey taking. I think there should be a lot of fun. There should be a lot of humour brought into business. But for some reason, somewhere along the line, people think business has got to be serious, and people think you've got to wear a shirt and a tie if you're taken seriously. There's a lot of grown men out there wearing shirts and ties and suits, who are little kids behind it all with imposter syndrome. I can see right through that. You've got big CEOs there having board meetings, and they're worth millions. When they go home, they're a little lost child sometimes, with the wife or the relationship, or maybe their drug abuse or alcohol abuse or whatever has gone on. Because, as we go on in life, there's a lot of things in life you haven't dealt with as a kid. There's a lot of trauma that people haven't dealt with, and the older you get, you're going to find it more difficult to deal with that trauma unless you go back to the pinpoint at the age of 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Something happened in your life to clear that up, that you can move forward in business and in life and in relationships. And 100%. I think, when people hit their 20s, everyone smashes it hard on the booze and maybe hit the party drugs. And then 30s, people are settling down a bit. And 40s, if you're carrying on doing that partying and hitting everything, that's why I think I don't want to go down this route, but that's why the suicide rate is so high in between 40s and 50s, because people are actually realising they're lost, they've lost that fun bit of life that we all enjoyed as teenagers and kids, and in your 20s and 30s and 40s reality kicks in. You've got a mortgage around your neck, and you've got a job that was good in your 20s, and you're still stuck in that same job, resenting going to work, resenting a lot of things in life. And you might have kids at private school, the pressures are there. You might get one holiday a year, but from the outside you're seen as a big fat cat in a CEO position or a managerial position in a industry that actually isn't enjoyable for you.
Now, I'm going to go back a little bit, because you touched on something, and it's another point that I've made. Some of these questions and points I'm going to bring up are almost questions that I have myself. I've got two young lads, one's 24, one's 19, been married 27 years, yada yada yada, got the t-shirt, but I'm still learning. And one of the things that I am struggling with as a parent, and I know your lad's quite young at the moment, but you'll get to that point. I'm interested how you're going to deal with it. I think that we are overprotecting our next generation from what we call stress. And stress, you can wrap stress up into a massive, massive umbrella and throw everything in there, so it's stress. But by shielding them and protecting them from what I call responsibility, we're denying them and equipping them for later on in life. Because life is tough. You and I both know life is bloody tough, and there's adversity on its way. Whenever it's coming, it will come and it will find you. I think we're overprotecting some of our young in the guise of, mental health and stress, and I know it's a very real thing. What do you think about that?
I agree with you. I think the world has gone a bit soft. I believe people are protecting people too much rather than going out and finding out and working out yourself. I think we have the internet now and social media, which helps in a lot of ways to being able to promote your own business internationally, which is phenomenal, and for free. Phenomenal.
We didn't have it.
No. But at the same time, there's a lot of accessibility for people to find out about mental health and things coming out, stress. And if you're talking that age, I never see stress. I don't like using the word stress personally. I've never used stress. I don't like it. It links to heart disease, and it's just something that I don't like the word.
Not comfortable with it.
I'm not comfy with it. I like pressure.
Okay.
And I thrive on pressure. And when the pressure's there, I understand that the pressure cooker is building. But in business, if we're talking about, it's just a game. It is a big game.
But I also think it's life as well. And I'm interested in how maybe you haven't thought about it yet, but how you prepare your next generation, your young lad, for instance, in being able to be strong and confident and navigate what's going to come his way later on?
Just be clued up with him. You know, if you are streetwise, a lot of book clever people out there. At school, I was thinking, oh, I didn't enjoy. I love school, but I found it very difficult to learn. I was the one in class being disruptive.
Yeah.
I was a happy disruptor, not a nuisance disruptor. I was always like mucking about, making people laugh. But that was my go-to, because I couldn't understand why I was going into 8 different subjects a day, doing scripture, biology, physics, algebra, and I was such a streetwise kid, being around adults all my life and growing up in pubs, seeing people earn money, wheeling and dealing, being entrepreneurs and seeing all this sort of stuff. And my sort of default was to make people laugh. My default was to be good on the sports field, because I knew in the classroom I wasn't any good, but I also knew I had something different. I didn't know what it was back then, but I knew I had something different. I knew how to create win-wins. I knew how to buy and sell and promote. And at the end of the day, if you can market and you can sell, you'll have a job for life anywhere, and you'll be very successful. There's a lot of kids at school who were book clever, went on to be super book clever, but are really lost in life now.
Yeah.
You know, so I think just for me, it's just, I was lucky in many ways being brought up with the freedom of doing what I want, when I want, with mum and dad giving me the belief and, go on son, if you think you can do it, go and do it. If you think you can earn £1 note, do that, go for it. It was always that. You know, I was going to bed at, when you live above a pub and you've got a nightclub next door, there was a thin wall between me and the nightclub, my bedroom, so every 3-4 nights a week there was music going, come on Eileen, and everyone stamping their feet. So my sleep patterns were all over the place, you know. So, but at 10 years old I was selling tickets to the nightclub next door. You know, I'd get 20 tickets off the manager next door at £1. It's talking in the 80s here, early 80s here, mid 80s. For £1, I'd come and sell them in Dad's pubs, so people would buy them for £2. I'd earn £1. The manager would earn his £1, and the people buying the tickets would get queue jump into the club.
Yeah.
So everyone was winning. You know, so there was lots of ways to earn money there, but you know, the knock-on effect of going to bed at 11 o'clock every night when you've got school and what have you, and then people come out of the club at 2-3 in the morning screaming and shouting, or there'd be fights going on, the old bill would be turning up with police meat wagons outside the bedroom.
Yeah.
That would wake up our 2 Alsatians we'd have, with guard dogs, and then at 5 a.m. the draymen would turn up, rolling the barrels down the road. That would wake you up, and then, you know, we were living in a 2-bed flat above a pub, and then we had a cockatoo called Bubbles, because we're all West Ham fans, so that would sing I'm Forever Blowing Bubbles in the morning. That'd wake up the monkey. We had a pet monkey. We had 40 budgie regards. You know, this is all in a 2-bed flat. So it was a very different upbringing I had, and I wouldn't change it for the world. A mad upbringing, and I saw a lot of violence growing up. I saw a lot of toxicity, because you are in an environment where people are getting fueled, whether it's booze or drugs, whatever it may be, mainly booze back then in the 80s and 90s, because drugs was on the scene, but not like it is today, which is rife. That's a whole new subject. We can talk about the way it is today, but that upbringing gave me a big grounding in life, you know, and I was lucky enough that mum and dad, none of their family went to private school. I got a sports scholarship, and I was the kid there that mum and dad would put £600 in my top pocket each time I go to the headmaster and give him cash. And the headmaster used to love you, because he was definitely not going for the books, you know. So there's no checks written or what have you. So I was very fortunate that mum and dad wanted to get me away from that mad lifestyle, go to a school that was great for sports facilities, and it was very new to me, because going to a private school with a Cockney London accent, people were like, what's that? You know, and I fitted in well. But you know, Dad back then was a bodybuilder. You know, he was a big lump back then, and with the Gold's gym, and we had 2 Alsatians. We'd walk to school every morning. You know, me and Dad were best mates. We're still our best mates, and I'd have my West Ham rucksack on, and we'd be singing every morning, whether it's snowing, raining, whatever. And all the kids would be turning up in their Jaguars and Porsches with Mummy and Daddy dropping them off. But me and Dad had this amazing bond, and you know, when Dad would pick us up from school after sport or whatever, and you know, at 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon, you'd have like 10 kids walking home, and he'd drop them off like the Pied Piper.
Brilliant.
And we're teaching all the kids like, I'm Forever Blowing Bubbles, and we'll all be singing it. And these are amazing times and moments. And as a dad now, you know, I've got an 8-year-old boy, I'm trying to just be like my old man was with me.
Yeah.
I'm not overthinking it. You know, he's brought up me with good morals and being kind. But also, I had a tougher upbringing than most. And I guess that sort of may be why we've been fairly successful over the last 25 years.
Well,
I don't know.
This is it.
Yeah.
And again, you touched on another one of my fears as a parent. And, you know, living where we live, this part of the world, we can't replicate what we grew up with. We can't. It's impossible. And also, it's very difficult for kids, I think, that don't need for anything. As far as I'm concerned as a parent, it's my job, provide a roof for them, provide food, warmth, and, you know, within reason. You don't go without,
Yeah.
you know, without spoiling. But that still has the effect, I think, on kids that they lose motivation to go out and do things for themselves because they've got everything.
I think that's down to the parents. That's only my opinion.
Well, thank you, Roger. I feel great. You haven't said that.
No, but my point is here, Chris, is that it's down to the parent whether they become lazy kids. It's down to the parent. Like, my boy can have anything he wants, but you should see me with him. I'm not free flowing.
No.
You know, have that. Oh, he'll go to England rugby match. Can I have that English shirt? Can I have that scarf? Can I? No, mate. Have you earned it?
Yeah.
Where's your pound note? You know what I mean? And he's earning his money. Everything he's doing, he's earning a pound note, and then he's learning how to buy and sell things. And these simple things in life as a kid to actually be took to move on in later life are going to pay him dividends. He's got a lovely home. He goes on lovely holidays. He's got the nice footy boots and the cricket gear and the sports gear and all that. All the other fluffy stuff, you know, I don't give him computers.
He's got to earn it.
He's got to go and earn it. And if he goes and earns it, fair play. Or I'll go hard to you on something big.
I mean, it's funny you say that. I mean, my 19-year-old, I mean, I'm slightly embarrassed, but my 19-year-old, I've just started charging him rent. 50 quid a month. Because...
That shouldn't be embarrassing, Chris.
I know, but it's just...
Just sign of respect.
I know, but I feel I've had to do that to get him to go, right, yeah, I've got to get a job, I've got to do things, I've got to pay my way and contribute. And actually, I think it's going to give him more self-worth and self-value. But I've been conscious of this whole, you know, rights to have, you know, what you have without having earned it. I earn every penny I've got, and I think it buys you also respect. You know, I think I just want my children to have respect for themselves and for others.
But that's all we got. I grew up on respect on the streets where we were. Respect with my dad, respect with my mum, respect with people around me. And I'm very respectful of people as an adult. I love people. But also with respect comes discipline.
Yes.
And discipline is one of the most beautiful gifts, and it gives you freedom of your mind. If you are disciplined, you are in such control of your mind. If you're not disciplined and you go binge drinking and binge cocaining and binge eating and whatever it may be, you're not in a disciplined state.
No.
And there's these simple things, you know, the discipline and respect and the self-belief. These are wonderful gifts we were given, brought down to earth. Someone's given us these gifts, and it's how we can get those gifts and pass them on to our kids.
You topped on another point, exactly. I think we're on the same wavelength here. I've got here, and one of the points I specifically want to ask you, a lot of successful people that I follow, and, you know, success isn't just monetary or materialistic. Success is, if I see someone who's happy in life and they've got people around them that are healthy for them and they've got a nice balanced lifestyle, that to me is success. Doesn't matter how much money you got in the bank. If you're happy and you're well and you're looking after yourself and you're helping others, to me that's success. And most of the successful people that I follow and have as peers, they do have quite a regimented schedule and a pattern, and a way of approaching their day. Do you have anything like that, or is it every day different?
Every day is different.
Really?
Yeah, mate. I've never set my alarm in my life.
So you
I don't travel when there's traffic. I choose not to travel when there's traffic. I've worked from my mobile phone for the last 25 years. I don't use a computer. I don't do email.
I know. But
So these things is success comes down to how you choose your lifestyle. And I'm an entrepreneur, and I've never worked for anyone in my life, but I'm a lifestyle entrepreneur. I choose the lifestyle I want to make great success. And
you must have some schedules. You're still healthy, you're fit, you're clearly still training a lot. Are you just doing that when you feel like it?
yeah,
Really?
yeah, but I make it a daily thing whenever I fancy doing it. But make it a daily thing, and and also to learn nutrition. No one has taught us about nutrition.
Wow.
And I don't know what subjects we're going down here, but nutrition's a passion of mine. On what food you're putting in your mouth to make you either be overweight or in good nick and feeling healthy. But no one's taught us this.
And mentally clear.
And mentally clear. And when I think it's like 85% of people are dehydrated, but they don't realise they're hungry. When you've got 2 litres, 3 litres of water in front of you, you're nailing that, and you're going for a wee 5, 6, 7 times, you're pushing out all the toxins, you start to feel good.
100%.
You start to eat good, clean meats and vegetables and fruits, and actually enjoy eating the 10, 15 fruits we can choose. I feel blessed by this stuff.
I know.
I feel very privileged to eat this stuff, because as a kid, I'm growing up on pub food. Chili con carne, lasagna, chicken curry. I was growing up on pub food. I never sat down with a family on a dinner table and had dinner, and all the things that I didn't have as a kid. I've always wanted to have a house, to live in a flat. I didn't want to have noise of a nightclub. I didn't want to have banging music. I didn't want to have budgerigards and things flying around and just noise everywhere.
And monkeys.
And monkeys, and a pet monkey called Mitzi.
Yeah.
So I loved all that, but in later life I'd go around to friends' houses, and they would, mum and dad would be cooking dinner together. They'd have a nice big comfy sofa. I saw the mum and dad hugging and kissing each other and being, and when you've got a mum and dad who are working 24/7 in a boozer, to clean the boozer, then you're open till 11 p.m, then you've got dad's having fights. I've seen my dad have, I saw my dad growing up having 10, 15 tear-ups because he was slinging people out of the pub. So, no one I know has seen their dad have a tear-up, let alone 10, 15, 20 fights, and you'll see him, and then you've got doorman on, but they weren't doormen back then. They were the biggest, toughest men you would have, with a bomber jacket with no SIA badges on them. They were there to knock people out if they were rude or they were being violent, or that's how it was. So, and as a kid, I would hang out on the doors with them. And that's how it was. That's just how it was. They'd take me to the nightclubs. They'd take me to nightclubs till 3 in the morning and drop me back, because mum and dad knew I was protected by 10, 15 big lumps who just thought the world of me as a kid, and it's obviously dad and mum being the good-looking couple with the boozer, and they're looking. That's just how it was,
It's interesting you say though. You went and saw other people's families, and
I loved
sort
it.
of coveted
It's calm.
But I see what you've got with your parents, and bless your mum. And I envy that, because growing up as a young kid, I won't go too much into it because it's not easy to talk about. But growing up as a kid, I worshipped my mum. Didn't get on my dad. If I'm honest, hated my dad. But when I see people like you and how you've come through life and you've still got that really close relationship, the blessing I've got now is my wife's parents. They're like my mum and dad. They're just, I've seen what she had, and I'm like, I want that, and I've adopted them as my parents, whether they like it or not.
Yeah.
I've been there 30 years now,
Yeah.
27 married, 30 years together, so they've got me like it or lump it.
Yeah.
But I do envy that. Now, one thing you did talk about, and sort of, you don't like the word stress, but I do need to, I'm very interested, again, with any of my peers in business, whatever they're doing. Over the last 18 years of being in business, I've had moments, I mean, you know what it's been like. It's 1 minute to the next, you don't know what's going to happen in this country, the world, whatever. There must be moments, let's not call them stress, but there must be moments where either financially or personal, your back's up against the wall and you're like, wow, this is, I've got to deal with this. How do you decompress? Because I'm guilty, or have been very guilty, of taking it home. And that's not good.
When you say take it home, I've worked from my kitchen for the last 20 odd years. I've got offices, and I've got a wonderful team of people and beautiful offices you see here. I work from my mobile phone out of the kitchen. I come to the office once
So there's
every...
no escape.
Well, look, it's given me freedom.
But how do you decompress then? Not so much now, but certainly...
Decompress in terms of...
You've got a situation, you've got to sort it. There's a good scenario or a bad scenario, and it's all on your shoulders
Yeah.
to sort and make it happen and make it work.
Yeah.
That's like a kettle boiling.
Yeah.
And then how do you deal with the pressure during those types of situations as an entrepreneur, business owner, whatever you want to call it, leader, team leader? How do you deal with that pressure?
I deal with it in a way that it'll all fall into place. It will all fall into place. You've got to give it time. It will fall into place.
So you
It's
don't get
meant to-
phased.
No, I don't get phased at all. What's it going to do to me? What's it going to do? It's going to make me tight chested, it'll make me feel like crap, or no. It's about juggling. Can you juggle? Are you good at juggling? You're getting shit done. I get shit done, and I'm lucky to have, I'm very fortunate to have a wonderful team around me. You know, it's not, you know, people say, oh, entrepreneur, it's all about the entrepreneur. It's not at all.
Yeah.
It's not at all, you know, and there's a big myth out there. Listen, the entrepreneur's the brains around the idea, but I know my skill set. I know what I'm good at. I also know what I'm crap at. And there's a lot of stuff that I'm not good at. But the stuff that I'm good at, I'm up there.
You nail it.
I'm up there, but just for the stuff that I'm good at.
Again, you touched on another point there. I mean, I love one of my lads did karting at quite a high level. The other lad did tennis at quite a high level. I had dreams, aspirations, and I saw that they, you know, it wasn't in their heart. No pressure. Do something else, son. But during that process, I read and I studied, and as you well know, elite sports people, they have a team of 20 around them. And I don't think it's any different in business. I have my mental wellness lady I talk to. I have business advisories and coaches and things like that. So my mental, my personal, my health, everything, I have people to help me to keep me on track. But in the early days, I didn't realise that actually it's essential to invest in yourself.
Yeah.
You can't make it on your own.
Yeah.
And I discovered that really late in life. When did you discover that? Or have you always appreciated that you can't do it on your own?
You can't do it on your own, but also I've been very lucky to have personal development as a young kid.
Right.
You know, personal development, working on your mind. Like, I've got a really strong mind from my parents. You know, Mum went off when they split up when I was 12, 13. She went off and did personal development all around the world.
Right.
And everything that she was learning, she was passing back.
Right.
Passing back about relationships, about business, about life, about what's going to come up, about the highs and lows of life, about how to be resilient, about every 8 or 10 years something big's going to happen and just ride it. You know, at the moment we're into a recession right now, and I've been saying it for the last 4 or 5 months, about to go to mass recession. No one believed. Everyone's like, no, it'll be fine. We're in a recession. We're going to be in a recession. We've been in 2008. We've been in here before. Just ride it, tighten ship. Keep your overheads as low as possible and just ride the wave. We'll come out the other end, whatever business you're in, there's going to be a lot of businesses going kaput. But when they go kaput, it doesn't mean you're a failure. It just means that whatever you learn in that business there, you will find another business there and you're going to boom when we all come back again.
Yeah.
So anyone out there who's in a business knowing that they're going to get in themselves, this is something I don't quite understand in business as well. 70% of businesses don't make any net profit.
No, I know.
70%.
I know. It's mad.
80% of startups fail.
I know.
No one talks about this. People just think, oh yeah, they start up a business and we're going to be a millionaire and my business is worth 10 million. Listen, I've sold businesses and I've exited. They're never as worth as much as you think they are until someone's written you a check and go, right, I believe you now.
100%.
You know, and that's a whole process that I've been through in the past of building a business and selling it. And I still come back to people when they want mentorship. I don't give mentorship, but I'll give advice for free if they phone up and I'm coming from meetings. That where do you want to be? People go, I want to grow my business from 1 million to 3 million. Why? And they go, I don't know why.
Because I saw it on Instagram.
Yeah, I saw it on Instagram. I said, why do you want to grow it? Because what it will do, it causes you more headache. The bigger you become, the more headache.
Absolutely.
I'm a firm believer of 12 staff and under is a beautiful place to be.
100%.
Beautiful place to be.
So many of my friends, they've got businesses with 30, 35,
Painful.
40, 40.
Ball ache.
I make more profit percent-wise than they do.
Yeah, with less pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
100%. Beautiful, Raj. Okay. Where are you at your happiest?
Oh.
And now we're getting into it, mate. Oh, we're coming into it.
Do you know
now.
what? It's really, really good question. I'm at my happiest when I'm with my family, my boy and my wife and my old man, and my mum passed this year when I'm with her. That's when I'm at happiest. The happiest when I'm having long lunches with mates, drinking wine, having a few beers. And what I've learned over the last 2 years, my other happy place, obviously apart from being on a beach somewhere, which we like a lot of holidays, I'm not into flash watches or sports cars and all that sort of stuff. It's not my bag. It's always about nice food and mates and family. But I've just found another place that I've realised how happy I am, and that's in the podcast studio. Yeah, and obviously launching the Eventful Entrepreneur podcast in lockdown. We've done 115 or whatever episodes now, and we've grown into the top 0.5% of podcasts globally.
But a lot of that's just the people you manage to get. I don't even know how you do it.
Yeah, but
You'll have Kanye West here soon, aren't you?
I don't know about that. No, but my point is there, my happy place, and I grew up around people.
Yeah.
For the whole last my 25 years of putting on 1,500 live events around the UK and 15 festivals, is I love bringing people together and putting smiles on people's faces. I couldn't do that in lockdown. So what's my other option? Podcast. Can I bring people together and put smiles on people's faces? And that's what I've done over the last 24 months. And my other happy place is being in this studio now, having one-to-ones with people. Yeah, it's a very... I find it very calm. Yeah. I find it very calming. I find it very therapeutic. And when people leave here, they go, God, that's really cathartic. So everyone's winning again. And the people listening are going, thanks for bringing that to me, because that's an amazing story of the person you interviewed or whatever it may be. Yeah. So they're my happy places.
That's amazing. Okay. All right, let me try and dig out another gem. Okay, I like that one, but I'll come back to that one. Who are your go-to if you have doubts?
Doubts?
Yeah.
Give me an example of doubts.
For instance...
Who are my goes to when I want something signed off? Like, take a look at that design, or what your thoughts of this idea? Or
No, sort of more, okay. Something's come across your path.
Yeah.
You're thinking...
Are we talking business here or life?
It can be business, it can be personal, it can be anything in life. I know who my go-tos are, and generally, if that person, even though that person might not know anything about what I'm talking about, they'll say something and they'll just make me go away and think, okay, and I'll go away and think. Who makes you go away and think? Who do you go to say, I saw the blah, blah, blah. What do you think? They might say something, you know, okay. And you actually respect what they say.
Yeah, it'd be my old man, my missus, my mum when she was here.
Yeah.
My sis.
They
Really tight, my sis. Yeah, they know me inside out. And all our family are straight talking.
Yeah.
There's no bullshit anywhere. You know, we grew up being in an environment where it was straight talking, you know.
That is so that's coming through throughout this whole, chat we're having. It's family is your number one.
100%.
Wow. I would agree. I just, for me now it's my extremities of family
and mates,
and like
friends to me are so important. And I've got, my best mate for the last 42 years. I've got mates who are 30 years, 28 years, 35 years, 18 years. And the beauty of that is I've also loved meeting new people.
Yeah.
And there's this wonderful, beautiful gift we've been given again, is your gut.
Yes.
And people don't, I've been going on my gut for years. My mum always said, go on your gut. Dad would say, go on your gut. Go on your gut feeling, son. And that's just stuck with me, because your gut is more intuitive than your brain.
Yeah, 100%.
Your brain will be thinking 2 or 3 or 4 things when you meet someone. Your gut will give you your answer. And the quicker we can understand that, or people can understand how powerful the gut is, the easier life becomes and the better decisions you can make.
You know what I love about what you're saying is, and it's probably a failure on my part, I long since convinced myself that I would never make any new lifelong friends, so I don't go looking for them. I've got a handful of friends that I've been friends with for 35, 40 years. And honestly, when I think about them, I get emotional. I love them so much. They're part of my DNA. And I'm worried people, I let them in, they let me down. Do you have any reservations
No.
with that at all?
No.
Really?
No way. Why? Let them in, let me down. I'll know by my gut if someone's the real deal. If someone's honest and straight and kind, I know straight away. I've been around so many people all my life. I've had so many different incidences and things, events and things going on in my world. I understand people, you know, and I can spot a bullshitter a mile away. I can spot a blagger a mile away. I can spot a really kind person. I can spot a gentle person. I can spot
Genuine,
proper people. And there's nothing better than meeting a proper person.
Yeah.
You go, God, you know, I could be pals with him. where a lot of people are scared to say, oh, that they met him and go, oh yeah. I'd get if I met someone, say, yeah, give you a mobile, let's stay in touch.
Yeah.
And then they'll open a conversation with WhatsApp, stay in touch. All of a sudden, you have a chat, have a cup of coffee. You're like, I really like you. I really like you, and I feel like I've known you for 20 odd years. This is amazing.
Yeah, that's funny.
And then you become pals.
Yeah.
And then you'll have a nice missus, and your missus meets nice people. All of a sudden, you've got nice people.
Yeah.
And
No, it's amazing.
it's really interesting there, because we've just moved house 3 months ago.
Okay.
And we've moved to a new area.
Okay.
And it's been an amazing feeling.
Okay.
Because when you move to a new house, your boy moves to a new school. He moves to a new school, he meets new kids, we meet their parents.
Yeah.
You move to a new area, you change gym. You meet a load more people. You move to a new area, you've got different restaurants and bars and nice things where you meet loads of more people. It's an absolute pleasure.
Yes.
It's a pleasure.
You're a people person.
Yeah, but it's a pleasure to meet nice people. You know, we're lucky enough we live in a nice area, so you can even meet nicer people as well. And
is that why you don't know where Parkstone is?
is that what you keep trying to drag me to? Is it?
Yeah, I've tried to. The Bronx. The Bronx of Dorset. Okay. You never seem to age. We're coming close to at the end now. We're just getting tired.
Oh, good, Chris.
We're getting close to the end. Getting old. I'm going to be 54 in December. Now, you don't have to tell me how old you are. You never seem to age to me because you look after yourself so well. What's your thoughts? What's your feelings? What's your approach on getting old? And I know the thing is, you've got your old man, and you know people have described in my office this bloke who's come in. I've gone straight away. I know who that is.
Yeah.
So he's
an
very
unbelievable
unique.
Nick.
Very unique.
Trains 6 days a week, CrossFit.
Don't even go there.
Yeah.
Very unique, and he has an aura about him.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, sorry about you, but what I do know is I'm not ever going to cross you. So he has that aura, even though he's got a smile on his face.
Yeah.
You know.
He's a very humble, kind human being, Dad.
He
Woodall. He's a lovely human.
Do you think about getting old?
No.
You don't?
No.
See, you will. When you get close to my age, you will.
No, I won't.
I'll tell you why you
No, because I don't want to get old. I don't want to get old. And I said this to my wife. I said, I can't see myself getting old. I can't see myself pottering around. I can't see... My old man's the same. He's 69 going on 70 now, and he's having the conversation. He's going, I ain't old, son. It's just a number. I'm not old. What's this? You know, he's getting up 6 o'clock, beasting himself at CrossFit with 30-year-olds. Doing competitions all around the UK with 30-year-olds. Bigger, faster, stronger than most.
So is that how you'll combat it?
100%. And do you know what it comes down to? It's not just the training. It's what you put in your mouth.
Yeah.
It's what nutrition and food you put into your mouth, or what crap you put into your mouth. And also, it's not just that, it's what you consume.
Yeah.
If you're consuming, I don't watch the telly, I don't like news, don't watch the telly. If you're consuming negativity on the telly, and you're consuming crap when you're flicking through Instagram and TikTok, and you've just wasted an hour, you're consuming your mind, it's not doing your mind any good, and crap food's not doing your body any good. And if you're not moving with that, you're going to age very quickly, you know. And I do believe in defying the age process. I do believe that as you get older, you can look younger.
Mm.
And my dad and my mum are both living, and my sister are both living proof. Listen, they all have a party. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah, for
But,
sure.
you know, whether it's meditation, whether it's yoga, whether it's training, whether it's good food, if you bring that into your life and spirituality, that does have a huge effect on
Definitely.
your energy and aura around you and how you're going to feel.
100%. By the way, when I said I was 54, you were supposed to go, Chris, you look amazing, but you didn't.
You do look amazing,
Yeah,
Chris.
but I've had to trigger that out of you. You're supposed to.
You do look amazing, Chris.
You're supposed to volunteer.
You do
that.
look, yeah, you do look amazing, Chris.
You're a
Well
hard
done.
man. You're a
Well
hard
done.
man. Right. Okay. We've done the getting old.
Not getting up.
Not getting old. How do you want to be remembered?
Good bloke.
Yeah.
Honest.
Yeah.
Straight talking. Kind. Happy. Make people laugh.
Oh, that's brilliant. Okay. Okay. And this is definitely the last one. It's a bit of a cliche, this question, and I was thinking, do I want to ask that? It's so naff and done before, but you know, sometimes you ask questions you want to know the answer. If there's one thing you could tell yourself, you know that question. If you could look back at yourself at 18, with all you've been through now, and you know, everything that's moulded you, and you become the person you are, what would you say to your 18-year-old self?
Keep taking big risks.
Really?
Yeah, mate.
Wow. Keep taking big risks.
Massively. Keep taking
I
risks.
think the world is finished with risk takers. I think we've ironed it out of every single young person coming through. I keep trying to tell my kids, you know what, go out there and make some mistakes. Go out there and do it. So you would say...
I wouldn't say go and make mistakes. Why do you want them to make mistakes?
Well, I don't want them to be frightened to try because they don't want to get it wrong.
But what you're putting into the head that they're going to go and make mistakes.
You know what I mean.
I don't. Because the words are our wand.
Yes.
And whatever words you are putting into anyone's head, that will either give them a negative feel or a positive feel.
That's your mum's words there coming through, aren't they?
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Words are so powerful.
Yeah, it's true.
And if you use them in the wrong way, because I'm not saying it's anyone,
Yeah,
I'm not saying to you,
Yeah.
but your parents might have said, "Oh, don't go and do that; it's too risky."
Yeah,
or
yeah,
don't go and make mistakes if you're going to do it. All of a sudden,
Word
a sudden you have these negs in your mind.
Yeah.
There's no need to have any neg in your mind, but
yeah.
if you use the right language,
It can propel them.
It can propel them. It gives them the confidence and self-belief that they can go and do anything they put their mind to.
Yeah, 100%. Roger, that's honestly that I don't know whether you got anything out of that, but to me that's blown me away. It's been amazing talking to you, and I know you're a busy man, and I've loved asking those questions.
Good,
I really
man.
have.
I'm glad I could.
Really,
I'm glad I could.
I've loved it.
Be here with you. And
No, it's
I'm not
awesome.
a busy man.
Well,
And it's another thing that there's a massive myth out there that busy businessmen are too busy for people. They're not too busy, but they like to say they're too busy to give them power. And I find that a shame.
yeah.
I really do find that a shame, because even you can give someone a bit of your time on a phone call if they come through the right way on the mobile, not through the different angles. You've got to email, get through to my mobile, get through to a mobile and have a conversation. I've got time for everyone, and that's just a nice thing to do, isn't it?
Yeah, no, for sure.
Do you know what I mean?
I do it. I definitely
Yeah.
do it because that's our legacy.
Yeah, you want people to leave and go, "Cool, you just helped me there. You just told me a couple of things." I've had people come in and go, "Dodge, I need." I get it all the time, every day on LinkedIn, and it's going, "I want to pick your brain. I want to pick your brain. I want to pick your brain." Yeah, there's my mobile number. Call me. Oh, can I set up a meeting on email, mate? I don't do email. Call me. You got my mobile number. Send me a WhatsApp, and let's just have a conversation. So, should we do it in 2 weeks at 3 p.m? No, just give me a bell. We'll have a conversation, and after that half an hour, you might have an idea that you want to go and pursue and go, "Oh, I can go and do this because maybe I've given them the confidence to go and do it," or I might have gone, "Well, stop that because you might lose £100,000 doing that, or £250,000. Be careful, because I've been there and done it, got the t-shirt. What I'll do is I'll tweak that. You can put someone on a completely different path within half an hour of your time. They can have a positive impact on them doing well and feeding the family and looking after themselves and building a business maybe. You know, so...
You got a lot more to give, haven't you?
Yeah, mate.
So what's next?
Loads. Podcasting, people.
Educational?
Yeah, we've done an educational business online events course which we launched 5 months ago, which is going really, really well. Again, I thought I was going to spend £100,000, it ended up being £200,000, and when you build a course, it's taken 18 months to build a course. You don't know whether you're going to sell one course. All of a sudden, someone buys you, you're like, someone just bought the course that we put all this energy into. You know, we brought 40 of the leading experts in around the UK who have come in and given guest talks, pre-recorded. And we've built an online course that is pandemic proof, that you don't need to be in a field, you can do online. And the skill set someone will learn from that course can be transferable in any other business. And the skill set they'll learn on that, for the sake of $3,000. Are you, like, I know what's in the course. Like, you can learn so much as a young kid, or if you're an adult in a job you don't like, you can do this on the side and do an hour a day. I never thought I'd be doing online education when I didn't actually enjoy being in class at school. You know, but I've done the online education thing. We're now doing the online events course. We're now launched the online wedding course. We're now going to be doing a sport and business course. So we've actually realised we've got a brilliant business model now, and the sums really work. I've got a wonderful team around me in there, tight-knit team. But again, I like podcasting. I like helping people learn about stuff, or I can interview, I can ask the questions that most podcast hosts are scared to ask.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden our listeners are like, oh my God, I learned 5 or 6, 7 nuggets out of that hour's episode. And that might change the direction of their life.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, so I know it's doing good. And I guess just me being me, I didn't know how to podcast. I'm just me being me, interviewing people. I never learned how to interview. I'll speak, and and there's I don't hold anything back, and it's I'm really enjoying it. I feel like I've got a proper purpose. You know, when you've got a festival that's once a year, it's been running 15 years, and they come to year 16, it's a well-oiled machine, your team are on it, you've got 1,000 staff every day working on that over the weekend, and you've got a great team here. I took a mini retirement in 2016 for 4 years, then the pandemic hit, it got me back into business. I feel like I've got a purpose. I built a new online events course in the pandemic. We navigated through the pandemic of getting the festival up and running. You know, lost £1 million in the pandemic. It was a lot of those. And we're privately owned. There's no big backers here. There's no board, and there's no big corporate company. We're me and my wife. You know, so it's real money.
That's pressure.
That's pressure, but I loved it.
You're joking.
I loved it, Chris.
What do you mean you loved it?
Trust me. I don't know if I can swear on here, but I loved it.
Are you serious?
Yeah, mate.
That's a whole another line of questioning, which we probably don't have time for.
Yeah.
That's okay. So there's something in your character then that loves the thrill of not adversity, but extreme challenge.
I like the buzz. I love the buzz. I love the buzz in 2008.
But you don't gamble.
No, I don't gamble. I'll gamble my own stuff. Like, I won't go walk into a bookies and put on horses and da-da-da. But I'll gamble on my own stuff. Like, I'm in control of, so if I'm playing a game of pool, or I'm gambling on West Ham winning, or gambling on my own businesses. You know, I've never had any investment come into their businesses. I've risked our own money starting from zero, nothing. So you're gambling. And when you gamble your own family house, that's the biggest risk you can take in life. Yeah. But it's not only the risk you take of gambling your family house, it's also the risk you take of the pressure on relationships. Yeah. And I've never spoken about this before, but because I've kept myself to myself over the last 40 odd years, only since I've gone public over the last 2 years, and had TikTok accounts and stuff have told me to do, an Instagram account to tell my story on the podcast and whatever, that I've opened up now, and LinkedIn and everything. So yeah, I like giving back, mate. That's what it is. And in my younger years, and then 20, it was all about the pound note, building a brand, building a business, pound notes. You can have a nice house and nice comfy sofas and nice carpet under your feet and silence, and choose a location where it's silent.
Yeah.
You know, I remember I was in nightclubs for 10 years in my 20s. I had 12 nightclubs every week all around the UK.
That shapes you.
It shapes you. So you're in nightclubs Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and from Manchester to Brighton to Leicester to Oxford to the list goes on and on and on and on. And then you land back in London on the Friday, and in my 20s I was partying Friday, Saturday and Sunday. So I was in nightclubs Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, working, and then partying Friday, Saturday, Sunday for 10 years. Yeah.
You're lucky to come out of that.
Well, it was the lifestyle, you know, and then off the back of that we set up the Bournemouth 7's festival in the last 15 years. It's like putting all those nightclubs into one big field now, you know. But yeah, within that there's been a lot of gambles. You know, this international sportswear brand we set up, and That was £250,000, which I didn't see coming. I thought it might be 50 grand, 60 grand. That's a whole new story.
Does your dad know how much you love him?
God, he does.
Do you tell him you
I
love
tell
him?
him I love him. Of course I do. Of course I do. I don't
People
leave,
don't, you know.
I
People
don't
don't.
leave that phone call. How you doing, mate? What's happening? We coming round today? Let's go to the footy. We go like this weekend. Let's go to England, New Zealand. Come on, mate. We jump in. We've got a driver take us up. Have a few beers, have a laugh, bite to it. We bump into hundreds of people there. How you doing? We get drive back home and we're back in bed. You know, in good time.
Yeah.
Every on the phone. Love you, Dad. Love you, son.
That's brilliant.
You know, and that's at an adult
You
age.
take for granted a lot of stuff that isn't what, from what I hear, isn't the norm now, you know.
Well,
for me it is, but
yeah.
a lot of people don't have
I
that.
tell my mates, go and tell your mum and dad that you love them.
Me too.
They're like, what? Go and tell your mum tonight and shock her. And go, you know what, mum? Thank you for everything you've done for me. I really do appreciate you, that and that. And just let you know I love you. And a lot of mum and son relationships or mum and daughter relationships may be like they say that, but I guarantee you there is a high percentage that never say it until the moment when they're on the last legs.
I told a mate within the last 3 months to do that with his dad because
Mm.
he told me something. I said, mate, that's not right.
Mm.
And he said it's changed the relationship with his father overnight.
Yeah.
He said now at his wedding, it's the first time he saw his dad cry
Mm.
ever, and he, without a shadow of doubt, he wouldn't have done that before.
Mm.
So yeah, you're absolutely right. Roger again, amazing. Thank you, man.
My pleasure.
Awesome.
It's weird to be called Roger as well. I haven't been called that ever.
Really?
Yeah.
Everyone calls you Dodge.
Dodge, yeah. Yeah. But I'm christened.
You know, they even call you Dodge Woodall on Wikipedia.
Do they?
Yeah.
I'm on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
You're joking me.
No, you're on Wikipedia.
Bloody hell, I'm seeing that.
Your university, everything, it's all there.
Is it?
And I kept reading it, it's like Flirt and Dodge Woodall. They call it
Is
like
that-
it's your name.
You know what? I haven't even looked at it.
Dodge Woodall.
I will go and
I'm
have a
like,
look.
that is not his name.
I will go and have a look. People won't forget it though, will they?
No, they won't. They won't.
Nice one, Chris.
Awesome.
Cheers, buddy.
Yes.
Well, that was good.
You enjoy that?
Yeah, mate.
That was really
Nice.
good, man.
Nice.
You're very easy to interview, though. You're very, you know what? You're not what I expected, though.
People don't know me.
No, that's what I wanted to
People
to
see
interview you.
a LinkedIn post or a Instagram thing and oh, he's the festival thing, and people don't know me.
Well, I always thought you were quite an intense character.
No, mate.
I mean, I didn't say it on camera, but whenever I've met you before, you've got like a dialed-in focus,
Mm.
and it's almost like you change.
Mm.
It's like you'll be talking blah 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 blah, and then you'll go, and then you'll zone in and say that again, what? And you'll like
Oh, yeah.
focus.
Yeah.
And people don't do that.
Mm.
You're aware of that?
Yeah, but I take a real interest in people. And I take an interest massively in people's businesses as well.
Right.
So did you...
Yeah.
What was your turnover?
Yeah.
Was it? How
That's,
much did you do profit then? It's just my passion.
but you do, you change. You go arrowheads.
But I know what I'm... Like I said in there, I know what I'm good at. I know what I'm fucking shit at as well. So I just home in on what I'm good at because I enjoy that.
Yeah.
But I can't sit there and write an email.
No.
I can't sit there and do graphs. I can't dress up for
Well, you
business
can.
meeting.
You just don't enjoy it.
Well, I
and
don't
it's
do
not
it.
your strength.
Never done it.
Yeah.
I don't do it.
Yeah.
I've got to have an email address that comes in and I might read it and go, oh, can someone take that? But instead of email, if I have to go back and go, here's my mobile, call me.
Yeah.
Old
No.
school. It's not like I say old school, it's real.
I long since don't subscribe to that. You know, focus on your weaknesses and making strengths. No, stop that.
Yeah.
If it's a weakness,
Get someone
park it.
in. I agree, get someone
Focus on your strengths.
in. Yeah.
Because you'll be 10 times better at doing something you're happy doing than you will be something that you don't want to do and you're not interested in it. Just either don't do it or get someone else to do it.